Last time, on the Daughter of the Twilight, Daughter of the Light, a mysterious young Twilight girl with blue eyes fell from the sky into Minna's throne room, demanding something called the Silver Tear. Confused at the young girl's sudden appearance, Princess Minna was dumbstruck. In her excitement at having finally found Minna, the young Twilight girl somehow teleported both Minna and herself to Hyrule, the Realm of Light.
How do we wind up here?
The little girl rolled her eyes again.
I brought us here.
The only way that Hyrule is connected to the Twilight Realm is
The Twilight Mirror, I know. Unless you were too stupid to notice, I'm not bound by the idiocy of that law. I belong to both worlds, so I can travel between the two at my own will.
Minna sat there for a moment, trying to understand what the girl was getting at.
Both worlds, she had said. So could she have been half Hylian and half Twilight? I suspected that from the beginning because of the colour of their eyes. But who could she be to possess such great power? Who could her parents have been, for that matter? Only the royal family or the pure-blooded Hylians have such strong magic running through their veins, and of the Twilly people, only Zant and I have been to Hyrule before the mirror was shattered. Other than that, the warped, twisted creatures that Zant had changed my people into. But they didn't count. They're barely alive in the first place.
So, now that we're here, I'm taking you to Ordon. Got it?
Yeah, I've got it.
This girl, whoever she was, showed no obvious respect to her ruler. As they walked south in the direction of Ordon, Minna began to ponder the girl's origins once again.
So, Zant was here to...
One of the strangest thoughts slipped into her mind. Could the girl have been Zant's daughter? Zant and who? Only problem with their theory was that this girl must have been at least 10 years of age, and the incident with the Twilight Realm occurred only a year ago. She tried to suppress her chuckles, but to no avail.
What's so funny? Got something to share?
No, nothing at all.
The girl started to scowl again, but then she took a deep breath and slowly exhaled. Then the expression on the girl's face eased up.
Look, I'm sorry for being so mean to you earlier. I was in a hurry and your reactions were exceedingly slow.
Minna was a little startled by the girl's apology.
What are you in such a rush to do?
I'm still in a rush. It's just that now my plan is a little more on track than it was before.
So what exactly is your plan?
I'll tell you when we get there. Promise.
She held out her pinky for Minna to take. Minna wrapped her own pinky around that of the girl's and smiled. The two were silent for the remainder of their journey to Ordon. As they came to the entrance to the village, Minna spoke.
Shouldn't we, hide in the shadows or something, so we don't get noticed by the light dwellers?
You have a point. Alright, let's go.
They wandered through the village, hidden in the shadows, until they reached a tall tree-house structure. There was a sign at the base of the tree that read, Link's House. The two Twilight girls left their positions in the shadows and came into the light again, climbing up the ladder to the door.
Why are we in Link's house?
She felt heat rising to her cheeks as she said his name.
I'll tell you later, but right now, we need to go wake him up.
Isn't it noon in this world right now?
He's a heavy sleeper, and a late sleeper. What, you should know you traveled all across Hyrule with him, didn't you?
Yeah, but...
But what?
He never really slept. Neither of us did. We napped now and then, but we never slept.
Well, he's probably just making up for all that lost sleep from when you were journeying.
That was a whole year ago. You can't mean that he's still getting back lost sleep?
Be quiet, we're here.
Link was sleeping quite soundly in his bed, with one arm hanging over the side. His eyes were closed so peacefully, his eyelashes resting gently against his cheeks. His blonde hair was tousled, and it was jutted out in every direction. Minna couldn't help but think that he was so handsome like that. The Twilight girl interrupted her thoughts when she suddenly grabbed Link's long-pointed ear and screamed into it.
Wake up, boy. Rise and shine.
Link was so startled that he fell right out of his bed, hitting his head on the bedstand. He sat up slowly, rubbing the sore spot on the back of his head. When he opened his eyes, he saw Minna in her true form, and a girl who looked a little bit like a smaller, younger version of Minna standing before him. He blinked a few times, and then rubbed his eyes, just to make sure they weren't hallucinations from his headbanging.
Midna?
It's really me.
Link smiled the biggest, happiest smile since the day he and Zelda defeated Ganondorf. Minna closed her eyes and smiled even wider.
Sorry to interrupt this happy little reunion, but we need to get going. Time's running short, and we've got to get out of here and to Hyrule Castle before nightfall. Without a horse, and without the power to teleport throughout Hyrule, that doesn't give us much time to rest. Up, 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 get your stuff, get dressed, and let's go.
She grabbed Midna by the arm and pulled her into the shadows, dragging her out the door. Link hastily fumbled through his things. Then, he found his green tunic from his journey last year. Would it finally be time for him to don it once more? He quickly put it on, along with all the belts, buckles, and even his sword strap, and scrambled out the door, following the moving shadows on the ground that were the Twilight Girls.
I can't believe it's really her.
He would gladly follow this bossy Twilight into madness if it meant that he could see Midna again. And so, the party of a Twilight, a Hylian, and the mysterious half-breed began their hurried trek across Hyrule.